Today's lesson is transparency, alpha channel, and how to do UV tiling and all sorts of little things that you need to learn to be successful in texturing and positioning your textures. So we're going to use Starbucks logo here, or a cup. So I suggest, if you're going to follow along, please grab some reference images. I just found this online, and they don't have to be high res. They're just kind of example. This is probably what we're going to trace. But the logo itself right here, when you look for one, make sure it's a PNG and it has a transparent background. So that's part of the lesson. Another one here, the cup or the lid, sorry. There's the bump map right here. So that's just a text that we can wrap around. If we have time, we can put that. But that's just creating a text and then using it as a bump. All right, so let's get started. All right, so first thing is that I need to clear that. And I'm going to press number 1 on the numpad right here. I'm going to press N, and I'm going to try and get my screencast going. There you go. Sometimes there's slight delay on that one. It doesn't quite activate. All right, so let's get started. So this will be our reference in a way. Okay, and we're going to add a, we're going to click on N right there to get our sidebar. Go to item, and it's kind of center this to the world, similar to the previous lessons we've been doing. Okay, so it's not necessarily centered right here, so I'm going to manipulate the x-axis and just kind of eyeball it. All right, right there's probably good enough. Okay, it's a simple object right here. We're not going to see the inside. We're going to put the lid, so we just need the front and back. We're probably going to put the logo front and back here so that we can learn how to do UV editing and scaling negative, so you get to see it on both sides. Okay, you probably have guessed right here we're going to be using a cylinder. All right, and we're going to scale our image. Press S to kind of get at least, we can go to the bottom right here. Okay, so I can go like that with the image where kind of matches one section right there. Okay, then we can just change the actually that's wrong, should be the bottom right here. I'm gonna turn on my X-ray and just kind of scale this a little bit so it matches the width right there. Again, there's perspective in the photo, so there's distortion and all that, so but we just kind of eyeball it. All right, so that's good enough right there, and I'm using 32 vertices on the cylinder. Again, if you do something right after creating one of the primitive objects, you'll lose that option to change the vertices. But this is all just default, right? We're trying to kind of simplify it as much as possible. So I'm in the X-ray mode right here. So I'm going to press Tab or go to Object to Edit mode. Okay, and the reason why I have X-ray right here is that when I select, one thing is to see through, you know. But if you don't have X-ray mode, you select your top vertices right there. You're actually selecting just half of them. The back face is not selected. So turn on X-ray. When you drag your box selection, everything gets selected right there. I'm going to be using the tools here so you can easily see which axis I'm grabbing. But you can also do keyboard shortcut G and Z to go up. Or use the move tool here and then just simply grab this part right here. So that's the part. I know there's distortion, so we're going to have to compensate for that one, but you know, it will work still. And then I'm going to scale. So I'm not going to use the tool right there. I'm just going to press S for scale. And then so we'll be scaling this for all 3 axes. Actually, sorry, no, X and Y only, no up position. The reason why it doesn't do the position because we're in a flat front orthographic view. All right, and that's probably will do the trick for the cup. Okay, the bottom, we might be able to show the bottom, so let's do some modeling on that. So I'm going to switch to face selection right here, or press number 3 on your keyboard. All right, we're gonna select that. I don't have a cup with me right now, but we'll be saving this one because it will be a series of tutorial on texturing. So we're gonna have to do the bottom. So it probably would be quite similar with the other cups. So I'm gonna press I for inset faces, and then drag the mouse slightly so it's kind of thin at the bottom. Okay, and this is like paper, right? And then I'm gonna press U to extrude, but I will go up. So I'm gonna turn off X-ray so you can see it in solid right here. And we're gonna go up like so. Probably that much or a little bit more up. So I'm just gonna grab the move tool, go up, and then scale it a bit so that it kind of tapers in a little bit. Okay, maybe that's too much right there. So maybe Starbucks gives you like that so that you don't get enough coffee or whatnot. So all right, so let's say that's good enough right there. Now the thing at the top, we need to create kind of like that ring, even though we're not going to be seen here, but we will use that actually to complete the top. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to delete that. So we no longer need the reference image here. I'm going to turn that off. Okay, well, we'll see how much that kind of curves right there, because it just goes in and then it drops in, right? Let's see. Let's turn that out for now. I'm going to delete this portion. Okay, I'm going to press delete. Oh, sorry, X and then face. Okay, I'm going to go to the front. Okay, I'm going to do number 2 right here for edge selection. I'm going to alt click this. So even though we're in solid mode, since I did a loop selection, it selects everything in the back, assuming everything is a quad. There's no points in between that would interrupt the selection. Okay, so here we can then extrude this, and let me just right click to cancel that and then just move it up here so it goes up straight like so. All right, so there's several ways to do this. We could also put a donut or a torus, match to 32, and then delete some of the parts, and we can just do this. But you know, my goal here is to show you as much as possible to kind of do it manually, because it's a beginner tutorial. Later on, you know, we'll be doing advanced stuff, and then we'll be doing a lot of add-ons, maybe shortcuts and whatnot, but it's important to know the basics. All right, so that's the top right there. So I'm going to press E to extrude, but I will press S to scale, so it kind of goes in a little bit. Okay, so let's say the lid is that much right there. Okay, I mean the lip for the cup. All right, I doubt we're gonna see beyond that one right there. We can definitely create it going all the way down, but just for the sake of completing the model. But you're not gonna see it, you'll be wasting polygons. All right, so this one, it's all the lid will be there. All right, next, to kind of round this off, we're gonna create edge loops right here, which is this one right here, loop cut. So Control R is the keyboard shortcut. If you position on a vertical line, you will get horizontal cuts. If you position it on the horizontal lines, you'll get a vertical cut. So we wanted a horizontal cut, and we're probably going to need 2 right here. So I'm going to scroll the mouse until we get to, let me see, 3 might be too much, or I don't know, maybe not. We'll go with 2. Okay, and then left click mouse, and it's going to ask you where you want to position it. I want it centered, so I'm just going to right click to cancel the movement, and there's that. Okay, so now we're going to scale this so that I don't have to worry about the z-axis factoring in there. So I'm just going to go to number 1, which is flat. Okay, and then I'm going to scale, and there we go, and just a little bit, just enough for that thing to kind of do the lip. And all right, maybe something like that would do it. All right, so there we go. So now we have that, and then we might need to bring this up, let's see, to kind of complete that round, and then scale that back right there, and then kind of lower that a bit so it has that kind of curvature, and then it goes in. All right, so we'll be using that. You're not going to see it with the lid, but we're just going to basically use this for the lid as well. So that would complete the cup, and it's all done. So now let's work on the lid. Okay, so let me pull the let me go to object mode here. Let me pull the lid. All right, so it looks like I don't know if I have a side profile, but I'm pretty sure it just goes here. It goes right there. It goes a little bit like so, and then it curves up, and then it has this valley right here to catch fluid. Then it goes up flat here, and goes to the bottom, goes over there. All right, so oh yeah, I do have the photo for the red one, so let's have a look at that one. There we go. All right, so there's that. So we could actually use this. Oh, I still have it. What am I doing? I'm clicking do. It's still right here. Okay, here we go. So there's that part right there, and we might have made this one way too small, but that's fine. I think it'll do its thing. So it'll just be this part. Okay, so at least we know the height and whatnot. So let's select this model. Okay, I'm gonna go press tab to go to edit mode. I'm gonna select all this lid part right here. Okay, all these things right here. So I will well, there's several ways to kind of do it, but let's do the good old-fashioned trick of just duplicating and then just preserving what you need. Okay, so we're not going to separate it. We're actually going to be kind of using it so we can place it outside. Okay, so I will duplicate this. Okay, right click to cancel the movement. So let's give it a name. So this is the cup, and this is the lid. All right, there's several ways to do this, folks. You can just separate it and then make it a new object, or select it and duplicate it and copy it and then separate it. Right, so we're just kind of doing this the old-fashioned way. So I have the cup and I have the lid, and we're going to hide the cup so there's no confusion which one we're messing with. Okay, so let's select. Okay, the fastest way to select this is to just simply go to face mode right here, alt click the line in between. It selects the entire ring. Hold down shift and click here while holding down alt, and you can go like so. Another way is, once you have this selection, right here, you can do control and plus on the numpad, and then when you press that, it grows the selection. So that's one way to do it. Okay, and the next one here is simply invert the selection, control I. All right, and then delete the faces. All right, so that's one way. You could have done it reverse. We could have picked the bottom, which is just a face, and then control plus up going. It's too minor of a difference to to speed up the process if we're just going to be using those. All right, so let's go to number one. So now we have an exact kind of replica of that. The thing is, on this one, if I rotate this, it pivots right here, the original pivot, right? So if I want to grow this a little bit, because it has to be bigger than the cup, right? See, I'm not getting that center scaling, so where I want it to basically stay in place and scale up. So there's several ways to do this. We can make we can just go to tab here, select everything, and then scale. It stays in there. The pivot point remains the same. So that will work. That's one way to do it. Another one is to make it the object. All right, you want to set the origin or pivot point to the origin to geometry, so it centers itself. So you can scale it in object mode and it stays the same in there. Or let me click undo. We can change the pivot point of our modeling or of the world, right? To instead of the center point of the original, we can make it go to individual origin. Okay. So, oh, sorry. Oh no, that's for when you have sub-object selected. So never mind, that will not work on in this case because that's for sub-object selection. So we're gonna go with set origin to geometry. Okay. So let's zoom in on this one. You can press dot on the numpad. Okay, and then you can focus on that one. Then you can scale it just a bit. We just want it slightly bigger. So let me go to X-ray here so we can see what's underneath. Okay, so that's the original. There you go. Just one kind of bump extra. Okay, so now we can hide the cup again. All right, and then looks like here that there's some, we can do some beveling here. So it goes down and then it kind of tapers out a little bit for that lid right there. And then it has another, sort of like another flare right here. Okay, so let's go to, let's hide the, let's leave it there. Turn off X-ray. I'm going to select the bottom lid. I mean the edge all the way around by clicking Alt. So if I press E right now and then Z, so I can just move that down like so. All right, and then let's see what we can do with this. We can scale it now, so it just kind of matches right there. All right, and now here I can do to kind of bulge it like that. Maybe that's too much of a scale. All right, I can do a Control R right here. Okay, add a cut, maybe 2. Okay, and left click. It's going to ask you where you want to position it. We want it centered, so I'm just going to right click to cancel the movement. But I still have look, cut, and slide right here open, so I'm going to open it up. There's smoothness that you can change the value so that it will do that. Okay. It's not okay, let's see. We can go even with the smoothness. All right, we got one part right there. Okay, then I can select this all the way around. We can scale this so that, all right, maybe something like that. Okay, or maybe that's too much. Let me click undo. Control R again, maybe 2, and then just scale this one here. All right, I like that better. Okay, and then on the third one right here, that small lip, we're gonna do the exact same thing we did on this one, except this one will have a thickness to it. So we're gonna wait for that until we add a solidify on this one. Okay, so now let's work on the top. All right, so that should be still the same right here. So I'm going to select this. All right, and then I'm going to press F to fill in that cap. All right, so I think it might need another ring or for it to go in. So we can go press I again here and then just add that a little bit of geometry right there. I'm going to go to the front right here, and then I'm going to press E to extrude it, and Z so that it goes up. Oh, let me cancel that and then just pull this one. All right, all the way up to there, and then just scale that so you get that, you have that taper. Okay, so that should do the side right here. I'm going to hide this empty. All right, because we'll be relying on this information now. Okay, so let me go to object mode, and then let's rotate this one to 0 so that it's just flat right here. So when I go to number 7 for the top, we're seeing it alongside, right? So if we just want to kind of copy what's on this ring right here, I can simply move this here, turn on X-ray, okay, and then just kind of scale it just so that we're working on almost the same object here. It's not a perfect square, I mean circle on that photo, but it should be close enough. Okay, right there. And let's take a look at our object. I'm gonna hit tab, we still have this, so we need to lower this a bit. Now, let me go back to the photo here. Okay, and let's just kind of center it, just so that we see that difference right there. Well, again, this is not a perfect top view image of the thing. We were just kind of guessing how thick that lip should be. So I'm gonna press I. So that's that part we're kind of simulating. Okay. And then since this is the opening right here, I'm guessing right here that should have gotten a real Starbucks lid. All right, so it goes down. Probably up to there. Okay, I'm gonna go to the side viewport here. I'm gonna go X-ray, and I'm pretty sure this one is rotated like so, so that the valley where the fluids will go, it will catch it right there. Maybe lower that a bit. Okay, so I think that should do it, and all we have to do now is to create all the bevel and whatnot to make it look like it's smooth and whatnot. All right, and maybe scale this a bit also. I think it kind of goes in like so a little bit. All right, so let me turn off X-ray. We don't need the reference photo anymore until we have to do that. Well, I think let's kind of do that now while we're at it. All right, so center wise, it'll have to be this object. We're probably going to have to use a no, we can just do it right here. Probably the same distance, so this portion right here. So to do that, we just need to do an inset polygon here. So press I. There we go. And I want to leave everything as a quad, so I'm going to straighten those. So best way to straighten these, simply scale them. That would be SY 0. Same thing with this. S, Y-axis, and 0, and enter. Okay. We want this straighten as well, so that would be SX 0. All right, so going this way. So the same thing for this. I just did Shift R to repeat that command. All right, and then we just need this one. We can redirect certain things here, but I don't want to see any anomaly when I do my render. So I'm going to do Control R right here. So I get 2 rings right there. And then I'm going to click here and leave it in this position. Okay. So I can grab those and then scale them along the X. Let me see. It's not letting me. Let me see here. What am I doing wrong? All right, looks like that's a no-go. All right, let me just move those manually then. All right, so once using low poly modeling techniques like this, you can make that certainly a lot more smoother, less jaggy. I mean, we could put a subdivision surface to this, but you know, for our learning purpose right now, we simply want that as a. I'm gonna delete this face. It's like a low polygon. That should do the trick for now. All right, let me turn that off. Okay, so there's our low polygon kind of lid. Okay, and let's do our bevel. Okay. Maybe I should have done this after the bevel, but let's see what happens. Hopefully this will not interrupt too much. But before that, I will go to Object and apply all transform on this so that Blender will now re-evaluate this. as a new object, so we're not gonna get some weird beveling. Okay. All right, that kind of still work. All right, up to that limit because I can go too much. All right, so that will work right there. So I'm not going to bevel that yet. I'm going to go all on the edges that I think would benefit from the same bevel. I think all those will probably be the same. Okay, so right click, bevel. Oh, forgot to add those two. Right click, bevel. All right, that probably will work right there. Then add some segments to kind of keep it smooth. All right, that will do. All right, so now here we're gonna bevel this. A lot less on the segments because we might not even see it. And if we take a look, that would be okay, the lip right here. So we still got to model that. I'm gonna go number 1, and we're just going to extrude this. Right click to cancel, move it a little bit. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing here. Control R, have 2 of them, and we're just gonna scale. All right, and then let's see here what we can do with just adding a modifier to this, Solidify. Okay, so let me go to my modifiers, add Solidify. Let me right click and smooth shade this so we can see it easily. Even thickness, and we're going to add thickness to it. Let's see where it goes funky. Let me turn on object detail right here, normals, auto smooth, so we can see where those things needs to be smooth and where they look faceted. Let's see here, 60 degrees. There we go. And let's take a look here. I think the issue right here is with the Solidify. Where it kind of doubles it. And it's open right here, but we can just close that. So we're gonna factor in our cup. So let's bring that in. And make sure the Solidify doesn't go through the cup right there. I think that's a good number right there. Let me go 0.1. Yeah, there's a gap. So 0.2. It's actually right there. So let's take a look. I'm going to apply the Solidify so that it becomes permanent. And then let's take a look here. Well, if we're missing any. So, all right, it looks like that's completed right there. Except, let's look for anomaly. Oh yeah, it's not attached there. And let's see where it's actually attached. Okay, so it solidifies it and then went all the way around here. So let me just do a quick fix here. Let's see what we can do. I'm just gonna delete those to see where it all right, another way to do it is to just simply let me turn off the cup, is to simply just extrude this part and make it solid. All right, so there's Solidify right there, and it kind of doubled all these things. So let's do a quick cleanup right here. So I'm going to select this one, which is all right. So there's another one in there, so it doubled. It did another double inside, made it a lot complicated. So what I'll do is we're gonna look at the top right here. We're gonna see it, and it would look, actually looks correct right there because all these things is correct. All right, so I'm gonna simplify the model. Okay, so let me click undo until Solidify is not applied yet. So I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna go back to this model right here. I'm just going to delete that one right there. Delete those faces. Okay, I can always add those later. So let's add Solidify. Even thickness right here, and I think 0.2 is what we decide. All right, so there it is. It's a lot cleaner. Okay, I'm gonna apply it, and then now we have access to the geometry that was added for the thickness. So I'll just simply select this all the way around without selection, and then we're gonna do it like this. I'm gonna press E to extrude it, right click to cancel that, and then drop it like so. Okay, and then add those rings, Control R, scroll the mouse like so, scale it, press S. All right, there we go. So almost the same on that one, except we're not seeing that, so we're going to make this one a hard crease. So I'm going to select this, alt click it all the way around, right click it, and then we're going to make this mark sharp so that when we have it outside, it looks like it's a protruding lip right there. Okay, all right, so that should do the cup. Let me get rid of that. The empty right here, same thing. I will leave that. We might have to trace the color for it. Okay, so this is oh yeah, so gotta select this, shade smooth. Let's click on our object data, auto smooth it. Okay, press number 1 right here, and that's our cup with the lid in low poly, relatively low poly. Okay, we might need to one more right here. This is just OCD kicking in. This one, we're not gonna see those parts, but let's add a bevel so that it just kind of, in case you need to tip this over. Okay, and that one as well. Oh, sorry. Shift Alt click. There we go. Right click. Oh, before I do that, let me just apply scale or all transform, whichever manipulation you did. Right click and bevel. Maybe one more. There we go. So that just have that kind of softer corner at the bottom. All right, and our cup is done. So we will end this as part 1. And let me save.